tired.
Covered in a pool of blood, a legend-worthy send-off from one of the most mid fighters ever graced UFC.
I know this is obviously not the picture-perfect ending.
Last weekend, Zhang Minyak fought Antony Smith and just left him in a pool of blood. Anthony Smith just curled up, did his like usual turtle shell, and was just left in a pool of blood. And for him to get this kind of a send off where, not even Stipe Miocic got a send off like that is just ridiculous. A man who once fought John Jones as his biggest accolade.
Stop! Oh, I'm bleeding! I'm bleeding!
Left in a pool of blood, he then shows a middle finger to one of the fans, a random fan in the crowd who didn't even do anything. Somehow he just picked him up and had this imaginary beef with his fighter in the crowd. We remember the fight against Dominic Reyes, another one of his losses. Every time he does this, he just shells up. As soon as he gets pieced up a little bit on the feet, shells up, and the name Lionheart really doesn't stick. Like every time, like he starts losing a fight, he just falls on the ground, shells up, and tries to grab for his dear life. Like this has been consistent throughout all of his fights.
Turtle.
And referees got to pull them off of them, and yeah, and then every time he's just like, I didn't show up, I was a better fighter, but I just didn't show up that day. He like also lost to Roman Dolidze. Like, come on, Roman Dolidze was a 185 pounder who like beat Anthony like easily, outstrike him. Like, you're supposed to have every advantage going to you fighting a smaller guy, but yeah, he just lost to Roman very decisively. I'm surprised he didn't get finished, but Roman can't finish a sandwich, so that's what happened with him. Then Khalil Roundtree just like absolutely destroyed him. Completely battered him, like beautiful show of Muay Thai on display, and then he just did this aura farmed above Anthony Smith, and yeah, this was a bad watch. Like, yeah, did not enjoy watching that. Just like every fight he been into, he just like does the same thing, just shells up like this and fights for his life, and really like the name Lionheart doesn't stick. Like, for him to some people be even calling for a Hall of Fame entry is just crazy to me.
Knockout.
But, another knockout he received on the hands of Magomed Ankalaev. He was getting pieced up, but this time he had a different technique. He was, he shelled up and like acted like he had a foot injury. Magomed was clearly outstrike him, but all of a sudden, like Anthony was like, "Oh, I have this leg injury. I have to like quit because of the leg injury, not because Magomed was a better fighter. Magomed is basic in his skills, like he said, and just like it was an injury. That's why he lost to one of the greatest fighters to come from Dagestan. So yeah, he had some good wins in 2021, but like these wins did not age well. They were good for the time. He had Ryan Spann and Jimmy Crute, and not sure top of the cream. I mean, Ryan Spann he just keeps getting knocked out, and he's super chinny and got no ground game. He got this job as a analyst, and his stakes were so bad every time. Like he would, he was just a company man, just supporting everything UFC and Dana says, just like have no opinion of his own. And I don't know why he's given these like roles. Like, he has horrible takes. Himself is super delusional. So I'm not sure like why UFC keeps doing that and giving him roles like this, just because he supports UFC. He's against increasing the wage for the fighters. Just very like a company man who like doesn't really like contribute anything. Like, have to turn off the volume when I listen to him speak, or some of the analysts speak, or some of the analyst analysis is just horrible. And then, let's not remember that he started a podcast with Michael Bisping, but just like stopped like showing up for the podcast. Like Michael Bisping has a great podcast, believe you me, that I watched for many years, and like Anthony Smith just like stopped showing up like after Bisping gave him a chance and just like backstabbed him in a way, and like started like his own podcast behind his back. Like had to get Paul Felder in instead. But yeah, and then we come to the thing that Anthony Smith's most remembered for, the fight against John Jones, where he famously, was getting pieced up, for fuck however long, and then John was just stalling on him, and John, because John doesn't have any impulse control, um, need Anthony while he was on the ground, and Anthony Smith could have taken disqualification to John and won that belt, but no, he wanted to be the bigger guy. He wanted to not get the belt, and he thought he was doing something noble. But that was so stupid. Like, just like take the belt. You would have been getting the rematch and the pay-per-view points, but now people are giving like people want to give him a Hall of Fame spot because he did that. What is that? A feel good trophy, a charity award, because he didn't take the belt off of our precious John. And then even after the fight, this is what he had to say against about his fight against John.
I just didn't show up, and John Jones is beatable. He's very beatable. I'm gonna get roasted online for this, but he's not that good.
Yeah, so like every time, like he just has the same story. He's not that good. One of his greatest fight is definitely against, Alex Gustafsson, my favorite fighter. Which I don't know how Gustafsson managed to lose, but yeah, this was a great win for Anthony Smith. It's just, I don't know why this guy's getting so much credit. He was overrated. He was mid. He's always been mid. Like, why do we need to bring him into the Hall of Fame? So yeah, just just because he's a company man. So really, like, it's annoying to see like things like this where some people get overlooked because of the others. But yeah, this was about Anthony Smith. Like, share, and subscribe on the MMA Maverick, guys. Yeah, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.